Okay. Well, I'm live. Yes, you have reached the right spot. Welcome, a warm welcome to Fight CPS and Stop Taking Our Children. I'm your host, Bob Pace. And here I'm going to help you get your children back or hang on to your children and fight CPS, ways you can fight CPS. CPS I'm talking about is the ones that the social workers that are entrusted to protect our children from neglect and abuse. And also, if they find it's necessary to remove a child from the home because of danger to the child, they're supposed to do what's called family reunification. But 50% of the CPS systems are rogue, meaning they're bad. It's a 50-50 guess that you're going to get the right CPS system that will protect you and do the things they're supposed to do. They automatically will bring the police, which are not a part of CPS, but they're very intimidating. And they will use them to intimidate you, to enforce their rules. The police don't even know that they're enforcing the wrong rules, but police love power. Now, there's good police and bad police, and sadly, there have been police that shot people wrongly. So, one of the things is you don't want to open a door. You never know who's on the other side. Now, this room is an interactive room, meaning that you can um, text messages, be a guest on my live stream, or even call in. Those are three ways. Another way you can is to give me emojis. You can either give me a thumbs up, a happy face, a heart, or you can send me stars. Please review me and check the button to follow me. If you want to be notified, check the notification button. But I'm here tonight, as I am every night for the last 23 months. I haven't missed a night yet in 23 months. I come on usually at 7 p.m. But tomorrow night, I'm going to be on at 10 p.m. I had to move my show time because I have a family engagement tomorrow afternoon. I had hoped to move it up, but instead of having the show at 1 o'clock, she wants me to hold it at 10 o'clock, my producer. Because I don't get done with my commitment to about 8, get home about 9, so it's kind of close. But I'll be on tomorrow night too. Now, another way you can interact is you can text me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Good evening, Akima Richardson. I am so happy to see you. Akima Richardson is a lawyer. She's a fine lady, a big heart, and she's from the big state of New York. She's from Brooklyn, New York, and she has her own show on Monday nights at 5 p.m. or is it 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Anyway, she's like me. She wants to help you all with your CPS case. She has gone through a lot about her children and fighting her children. So I'm so glad that you're here, Akima. She also goes by KK. So, Akima, what's new in your world? And I'm so glad and honored that you graced this live stream. Now, the banner I put up there is self-explanatory. The message that you send me can either be in the form of a question or a comment about CPS. Another thing I talk about CPS is called APS, Adult Protective Services. I've been doing that lately because people have told me about children. What I mean by that, they turn 18 and they're still in the CPS system. An adult protective service is supposed to take care of them. Adult protective services mainly takes care of and focuses on seniors and elders that are being mistreated. So adult protective service and child protective services serve the same thing. They're supposed to monitor neglect and abuse. Now, when a child reaches 18, they're adult. And if they're still in the system, they're picked up by adult protective services where they are protected because they're special needs and need special help. But there's a lot of corrupt adult protective services. I had one mother from Illinois that lost her mother during the time she was fighting with adult protective service. They weren't protecting her mother. Anyway, her mother died, and they're still after her. The APS is as corrupt as CPS. So I only mention that because some of you may have a mother you're taking care of, or a father, or a child with special needs over the age of 18. So adult protective services has the similar problems that the child protection services has. Now I've talked to over 2,600 people from around the world. That is 23 states, including the USA. I've talked to Indonesia and Bangladesh and India. Then up to the Middle East, it's been Saudi Arabia and Libya. Then over the continent of Africa, it's been Liberia and Sudan and Republic of Congo. Then Rwanda and Mozambique, and then the provinces of South Africa. Then up to Europe, been the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, Wales, and also Denmark and Sweden. Then across the pond to North America, it's been Canada and its provinces. And then the United States, and all 50 states have text or called in. In fact, even Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, the case there. South of the border, Mexico. Further south in South America, north of Brazil on the east coast is Grenada. Then across the South Pacific is New Zealand, and then the land down under Australia and its states. So that's quite a range of countries and people. And as they say, it's about 2,600 people that have addressed in here, and some have called and so forth. Now, when you send me that message, text me that message, make sure you use your first name, your city or county, and the state. If you're outside the United States, put your country. Also, please tell me about your CPS case from beginning to where you're at so I can understand you. Now, Kima Richardson has said a couple things. So, yes, I'd love for you to call in. I've been dealing with a lot, but got my emergency IPC initiated. Oh, good. We just had a conference on Thursday, the 11th. Okay. Should I call in the show? Yes, you should. CP illegally removed my kids and refused to show me my evidence. Wow. Let me put my phone number up, Akima. There's my number. That is where you can talk to me live. It's 626-698-0990. And I'll be looking forward to Akima calling in. Now, while Kima or KK is getting ready to call in, there's another number I posted, 888-888-6582. That's the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. His name at the top right corner as you look at my screen, it'll say Vincent W. Davis. That's a picture of him. And there's a website called stand.store/attorney/VWD. There you can find a lot of things like books and things that help. Good evening, Akima, and so glad to hear from you.
Hey, Brian, long time no hear.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I've just been dealing with so much. It's like between CPS and the foster care agency, they just have been not obeying the court order, not following the things that were outlined for the decision and fact finding, and still have not supplied me nor my children with the family didactic therapy that the therapists have suggested.
Yeah. Well,
But I kind of did a show Monday trying to basically, Dorothy Cook, she had come on as a guest,
okay.
and she basically was saying that there were some things that were outlined in the 1800s that is basically being used now, present day, between parents and CPS, as far as trying to restrict your mind, basically restrict the knowledge you have, and based on either demographic, economic structure, or education level, we're being penalized as the parents that are the offending parents that are constantly trying to prove we're innocent, but we're biased against before we even get a chance to plead our case. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But I've been following you here and there, just haven't had a chance to like reach out because it's just been like an up and down battle with me. And being that I do suffer with mental illness, I have to pull back some time in order to maintain my mental health for the well-being of my children. So I just have to take a moment to myself and pull it together.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
But you have some great parents that have been in your room, like Christina, Miss Dorothy, Betty, of course, always.
Right.
Barclay 54, which I'm trying to get in contact with.
Right, right. Well, they'd be on maybe tonight.
For Barclay 54?
Yeah, I do. That's Lisa, and she should be on she's from
Montana.
Montana, right, right. And she comes on twice a day, so she should be on there.
Okay, well, she came on Monday, but I didn't get a chance to see the comments. I don't know how you get to do it, but I can't see my live comments when I'm streaming. I gotta learn how to do that.
Oh, really? Well, there's a thing called comment window, and when I click it,
I tried to open it, Bob. You know what? It just like knocked me out.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like my broadband, but I have really good like.
Well, they have a thing called the beta program, where it actually posts it on the screen. Here, I'll put it on right now, and you can see your comments. You'll see your comments as well as other people.
I can see mine, but I can't see them while I'm streaming. Like if I'm the one hosting, I can't see mine. Like when the guest.
Are you streaming? You're streaming on StreamYard. You should be able to.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try something. I'm gonna have to try that again. But I got.
Well, you may need to ask Grace. You may need to ask Grace, and she can help you.
I think I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna see if Mr. Davis can be a guest on Monday. If he'd like to be, I would appreciate. I would really.
Well, he called in 2 nights ago and said, "Hello, this is Vincent Davis." I said, "Hi, Vince." He came in from. Yeah, he came in on Facebook. He has a Facebook page.
Oh, okay, cool.
No, not Facebook. I'm sorry. He came in on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
It's called CPS Defense Attorney Vincent Davis. Yes, right.
He's amazing. I cannot wait to shake that man's hand. Like,
yeah.
Between him, Georgette, Grace, like, you guys are amazing.
I've been trying something new, Akima. Since most people can't get attorneys, I've been trying something different. And I think all of you are listening out there is that when you can't get an attorney, what I mean by that, you can't get the real thing. And you're going to have to use a court appointed attorney. You got to make them work. And there's 4 things you got to make them work on. 4 things. Step 1.
Evidence.
You have to know step 1 is you got to tell the court appointed attorney that you're innocent. You're not guilty of the charges. 2, you got to say that You want family reunification. It's very important to use the word family reunification. And three is that you want to follow the judge's court order plan. You want to get that emphasized to the court appointed attorney. Tell the judge, since you're representing me, that I want to follow what he tells me to do. Not necessarily social workers, but tells what the judge wants to do. And lastly,
Now, Bob, that's a little easier said than done. Not to interrupt you, but it's easier to say that than to get it done.
I agree.
Because I went through 4 legal aids before I had to retain an attorney.
Yeah.
Because the timeline for the AFSA federal, timeline kept running, it's like they basically severed the relationship and they didn't really have to have a reason after they severed reunification, and I requested it back. And because my children don't want to have any interaction with me, this agency is okay with that, but yet they're supposed to provide these supports to bring families back together that have these concerns or separations.
Mm. Well, the reason I'm saying this is that there's too many of these people right now. They're using court appointed attorneys. Instead of ignore them, or like Bartley was ignoring them, and it's like that. You just go along with the judge. If the judge says you have to do something, do it. And lastly, the fourth thing was to have visitations, whether they are controlled visitations, supervised Zoom. Try to have as many visitations a week. So you tell your court appointed attorney there's 4 things you do for me. 1, I'm not guilty of any of these accusations. 2, you need to um, tell the judge that I want to be a reunification. I want family reunification.
Well, you can tell the attorney to speak to the judge. You as the
No, I know that. I know that. I'm not saying speak to the judge. I'm saying you got to tell your court appointed attorney. It's a lot easier sitting there saying.
You know what? I'm sorry about that. I'm listening.
It's a lot easier to argue and disagree with everything about social service. You can tell they're screwed up, they're no good, they lie, they corrupt, they hurt, they do everything. The social workers lie and lie and lie.
Person on both sides, Bob, that's not actually as easy. Like I said, even with all the legal knowledge that I have now, being that I've watched Mr. Davis's platform, I've read avidly, and I cast the bar. It's still experience is not learned in the books all the time. It is learned outside of the courtroom, outside of CPS building. It is learned outside. And the thing is, parents cannot determine day by day what moves may happen, what economical structures may impose on that, or overall health and wellness for the child or the parent. So even if the judge has ordered something to be done, these court-appointed attorneys have like 300-400 cases that they're flipping through daily. So the little 5 to 10 minutes that you are getting, it's not really acknowledged to the point where it makes a dent or a speed bump in any of your progress in any module, unless you follow what Mr. Davis said from the beginning. Write out the facts of your story. Not, what happened. Write out the facts. Say the facts first, and then, tell your story. But state the facts from the beginning. As for the logs, coincide, compare and contrast the logs, put what was correct and what was incorrect. As for your file appearance, as for your discovery, as for the service logs, you have access and every constitutional right to your file from the very beginning up until present. Nobody can tell you can't.
I agree that, but unless you're pro se, you can't talk in court.
Like Mr. Davis said, that would not be the best route to go based on if you have either mental health on the back end, substance abuse history, or any type of domestic violence. Those things penalize you before you even get to adjudication or disposition.
Right.
You're already outlined as the villain before you even step into the courtroom, before you are even.
When the phone call is placed, the social worker already has their mind made up. because the social
Exactly. And
workers
if you have a
have power
history, you're already
problems.
being like penalized and targeted based on anything that has those labels. Because when they most of the time don't come with a warrant. You know that, Bob. But
No,
when they do get that report, they look for bold words that stand out, such as abuse, neglect, history, substance abuse, mental health, DV, or previous removals. Those are the wordings they look for that they skim over. They don't read your file. They look for the bullet points in discovery. They look for the bullet points in evidence or procedure. The evidence, the roles of the procedure of evidence, the three different, types of evidence you have to have. And most of the time, it is a preponderance. But yet they still win by a glimmer of hope. And it's like, if you have a public defender, I know for a fact the communication does get deteriorated between the offending parent and these ATV attorneys because they are not listening to us. They're just trying to get us to brush it under the rug. And this is an election year, so everybody's trying to get a raise or, a push ahead. There are too many seats open on judicial platforms that make these people basically just fill their form. That's how I'm feeling.
We had Melissa in the room, and you had mentioned to her about her file. Now, she said,
Right.
I don't know where Melissa's from, but she said that they removed her kids illegal, and the judge refused me to show my evidence. Well, I don't understand why the judge would.
That's a violation of your constitutional right. You are allowed as
Yes,
the
you are.
offending parent to see anything and everything in your file from beginning to now.
Yes. And
You
all they
can
have to
report, you can
do,
email it, you can have it emailed to you, everything.
yeah, all Melissa would have to do is ask for that.
New
Yeah.
Brunswick. Let me look that up real quick. Let me look at New Brunswick real quick for.
She's from New Brunswick, Canada. She's from Canada.
Canada. Where is that, in Alberta? Is that by Alberta?
No, it's not by Alberta. Alberta's on the East Coast. West Coast. Alberta's on the West Coast. New Brunswick, Canada. I think New Brunswick is a province. Let me see. New Brunswick.
Wherever the municipal, Melissa, wherever the municipal courts are for the family dependency that you're dealing with right now in your province, you have to reach out to either. I'm more than sure it's called the Premier, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The Brunswick is a province. It's a maritime province in eastern Canada.
Okay.
It's known for forests, rivers, and the Bay of Fundy with high tides. Key cities include the capital, Fredericton.
So they're a tourist attraction.
Yes. The economy relies on industries such as forests, mining, fishing, and tourism, with significant natural attractions. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they have to keep their funding up in order to keep the landmark tourist attractive.
It borders Quebec to the north, Nova Scotia on the east. Right.
In the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, it's a Bay of Fundy is what it's really known for. Extreme tides.
Because the zoo is right there, of course the children are gonna like the zoo. What place would it be better? There's a like an orphanage not too far from here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know about Quebec. I do know Quebec and Montreal very well.
Good evening, Megan. Glad that you're here. Megan is from Los Angeles, California. I've not changed the game, Megan. You've been in here. I talked to 23 countries, including Canada and the United States. So no game's changed here. It's always been an international flavor here.
Been all over the continent. Exactly.
Yeah.
North, south.
So I have Leica from South Africa, from the Northwest province of South Africa that calls in and talks to me for hours. So, you know, I have all these countries that call in here because this is the international live stream. Anybody that has internet can hear me.
They said for New Brunswick, they have to write to Halifax.
For what?
It says you have to write to Halifax for children's services.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what I pulled out. I just pulled that up. I'm just going by what I listed here on Wikipedia and Family Defense.
The person area code 225 that's calling me from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, I can only talk to one person at a time. Right now, I have
You want me to turn it off?
KK. No, I have KK Richardson from Brooklyn, New York.
Thank you, Bob.
Yes. And we have a person area code 225 Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In fact, there's a good football game today with Florida playing LSU. So,
Who's Megan Tabitha saying something about sobriety?
let me see.
Said something about sobriety.
I'm looking right now. Melissa says, "Who should I call you?" Said, "Were you calling me Melissa from New Brunswick?"
When I was telling her who she has to reach out to get her file.
Yeah, but that wasn't Melissa. That area code was not Canada. That was Louisiana. So that wasn't Melissa.
But I know this Megan Tabitha. Is she saying sobriety? What is sobriety? What does that mean?
Well, sobriety is whether you're a heavy drinker or you drunk all the time.
Well, I'm in recovery, so that, I kind of figured that, but it was just one word, so.
Yeah, sobriety is a test to see if you're over your legal limit for.
The alcohol, the breathalyzer thing.
Right.
Okay, got it. Sobriety test. Okay, got it.
Right.
But even now, so they have these cards that if you've ever received a DUI or DWI, that you have to breathe, you have to blow into the car in order to start the car.
Yeah, I've heard about those. Yes.
Those are like $600.
Yeah, and you got to pay for it. They aren't giving
it
free.
You have to pay every month,
You're not getting that for free.
But you already have to pay for a class, Bob. You pay for the class, then you have to pay for the breathalyzer, then you have to pay for the ticket. How are you trying to reunify with your child if you're broke?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is you got to do your best.
Return to parent, like that's unfair.
Well, you got to use.
Financially unable, like impossible.
You got to use the you got to use your court-appointed attorney. It's the best you can do.
Yeah, if you can get like 5 minutes once a month.
Now we have somebody new I've not heard before, and I don't know if you're aware of this, KK, but on Friday I had a very atrocious amount of people that were doing some of the things they're doing with Charlie. You know that Charlie was murdered, but I had a series of people that called in and were taunting me on the radio show. On my live stream.
They did that to Deidre too.
And yes, and it was really sad because they were trying to talk about, like, one person pretended he was a woman, but it was actually a guy. And he started getting details about the birth of the child. He's mad at his wife, and he started using profanity. I had to take him off. Another person in there, and then they got upset because I hung him up, and I had to boot in my room. There was 8 people. So anytime that people come in the rooms with names I can't understand, I'm not going to recognize them. I can't. Yeah, see, you guys are trying to come in there. IP2 Defense Force, even Megan Tabitha, who uses different names, and she's from LA. But See, I got to be careful because I know all the different
That's what
names.
Miss G was talking about. How they were like bad mouthing Mr. Davis, or they had
Oh, I
people
had
that
the
were
very
like,
first message come in here and said, Mr. Davis is no good. And I said, well, what is wrong with him? And it was a girl named
well, they
Cynthia.
said Deidre and Mr. Davis were like together on her show. Like it was crazy.
Oh, geez.
And there was a comment that went up. It went up. So they had to take like it was bad.
Well, I had to clean the show. So um,
I'm grateful because hopefully
I just really can't. IP2 Defense Force, you need to get a name. I can't have you in the room. I don't know who. And Burger Planet's mother, no, I yeah, I just have to eliminate them. I delete them at first and then I ban them. I delete them at first and then I ban them. And Megan is doing too much talking. And I just don't understand why she needs to talk. I know Mr. Davis is no. Okay, yeah, this is bad. Now Megan's gone. He says Mr. Davis is no good. 1 minute, Tabitha says that he's great and worshipped. He does a lot of worship things there. So, um, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry that Sammy Sosa is from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Hi, Sammy. How you doing? Oh boy. And I have Baton Rouge, Louisiana call me again at 225.
You want me to hang up? I'll hang up. You have to take Megan off though. You see what she's saying?
Yeah.
I'll click off so you can answer Baton Rouge and I'll just chime in with the messages. But Megan Tabitha has to come off. She's like being very rude.
Yes. Well, now.
I'm gonna come off so Baton Rouge can come on.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'll still be streaming with you.
All right. Go ahead. All right. Hello, this is Bob with the live stream. Who do I have the pleasure of talking to?
Oh, this is good.
Okay. Okay, we have that strange man calling in from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I got to go ahead and block the number. We can't have the disruption of this person. I'm so sorry. KK, that should not have taken that call. And I got to sorry for the delay here. Yes, it is, KK. The person from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is a spam caller. He'll just talk really nasty things on the show. This is not the place for it. I have no idea what people are so angry tonight. My show does not equate angry. I'm here to help out people, not hurt people or make them afraid of things. I'm giving my time twice a day. That's 14 hours a week of my time that I've been doing this now for 23 months. Sorry, you shouldn't have hung up there, Akima, if you want to call back in. Matthew says, Vince, this is the first time I've seen your feed, and God brought me to you. My wife has a homemade horrendous story. Um, Neither one of us have any sort of rims there. Hello, who's this?
Oh, my name is Matt. I'd seen the live feed or whatnot, and I'd chatted in the chat about a situation that me and my wife had gone through. I didn't know, is this Bob, or do you have like a YouTube live feed going on, or?
Well, who is this? What is your name?
Well, my name is Matt Emery. I live up in Idaho, and I kind of went through a situation with Child Protective Services, and we kind of really have a horrendous story, and I think
Okay.
the world does need to know about it, and I have a tremendous amount of faith and hope that the world is going to learn about it. And,
Okay. The problem,
just saw that.
Matt, can you stop for a second? Matt, can you stop for a second, please? Matt, the name that came up on my phone says Al Besmer, and it shows that it's somebody else. That's why I ask on that. I've had a bunch of crank calls that came in here. What can I do for you? Do you want to share your story or ask a question?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd love to kind of share my story a little bit with you.
Sure.
So are you the actual? You're the YouTube live feed then?
I am the host. I am the host of this live stream. I've been doing this now for 23 months. That's over 2 years, almost 2 years. I do it twice a day, one at 7 p.m., another time at 8 a.m. on the weekends, and 10 a.m. during the weekdays. That's all Pacific Standard Time. I've talked to over 2,000. And I'm sorry, what?
No, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm sure it sounds like you've talked to a lot of people, and you've heard, I'm sure, a lot of
Right.
terrible stories about our system.
Yeah. Well, how can I help you? I mean, is it the story you want to say or a question you want to ask?
Yeah, no, just kind of a story to share, really.
Sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Me and my wife, we've been married for we've been together at least for almost 20 years now, and they attempted to kind of tear us apart, and so just kind of tell you briefly. Obviously, our story it's got a lot of details to it, and there's just so much involved. But just to kind of briefly tell you a little bit about the situation. So, I actually worked for the Health and Welfare Department in the state of Idaho, here in Boise, Idaho. And I worked for them for about 7 years. I was actually in their benefits department. And I was a great employee. I worked to help get people approved for food stamps, Medicaid, cash assistance, worked with our refugee population. And I actually had, during my time at Health and Welfare, I had friends who were child protection workers. And we would, I smoked at the time, and we would take breaks together. And we would go out and I'd talk to them and various things like that. And there was one situation, I remember this very vividly, that in the smoke break, I was smoking, I was talking to a child protection worker friend of ours, and she essentially said that they were baby snatchers, and she laughed at this. And at the time, I was kind of trapped in that mentality of thinking that, child protection services, well, they're just doing the good. They're just only taking children from parents who, they only when necessary, only when absolutely necessary. It was my thought process at the time. And John Paul Emory, and
let's not use the names. Let's
sorry,
not use the names of children, please.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. I won't do that anymore. But me and my wife ended up. So I lost my position. It was the worst time that could happen because I just been put on administrative leave for my job at Health and Welfare, and my wife worked at her parents' auto body shop, and so we were down to like a one-parent income essentially. But she got pregnant, and we were able to have our son. He was the pride and joy in our life. And to go into a little bit of history, I had a pretty rough childhood in teenage years where I had tried a substance. I tried methamphetamine, and I fully admit that I tried that during the first years I was with my wife up until I lost my position at Health and Welfare. I was clean off of that, and I hadn't had to use it in quite a long time. And I did end up using it again, and I had a substance abuse problem. And we both did, and we fully admit that. We had a problem with substance abuse. And my wife's parents ended up finding out that we had a substance abuse problem. Our son was about 3 years old, and we were carrying a loving home. We didn't have a problem at that point. It was absolutely maintenance. We had a problem. We were carrying a loving home. We kept a roof over his head. He was, frankly, the happiest years of my life were the years that I was raising my son. And they found out that we had a substance abuse problem, and they ended up turning us into the same department that essentially I had worked for. Well, I didn't work for Child Protection Services specifically, but I worked for Health and Welfare. And they turned us into there, and ended up, they came out. Anyway, long story short, basically, we went through the entire case. I read that book, Profane Justice. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that book or whatnot. And the length at which the case went, first and foremost, the policy here in Idaho is that substance abuse on its own is not a basis for a child protection case. So in the process of the case, we had case workers that entirely fabricated other issues for our family to be separated and broken apart. We have a substance abuse problem. We fully admit that, but we are carrying a loving home. We didn't have any other issues. We weren't beating each other. We weren't doing anything in any way, shape, or form that would warrant a case and to be created, but they completely fabricated a reason. There's a lot of details to go into in the entire case. The fact that I was not allowed to be present during the shelter care hearing, they did not allow me to be present for whatever reason, and I could go into more details with that. But the entire case is just disgusting, and the whole book, Profane Justice, that I read, it is absolutely true. We went to various treatment centers to get clean.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Matthew. Hold on. I have to deal with a couple people that come in the room. Hi, Torba Swanson. What this channel is about is me. I'm Bob Pace, and I've been fighting CPS for 15 years, and I'm trying to help out people that need help getting their children back or hanging on to their children or dealing with CPS. And so that's what I do is I answer people's questions, concerns. They can call in and talk about their CPS case. What area are you from, Torba Swanson? This is the international live stream. I have 23 countries that have talked to me, over 2,600 people. And anyway, just write me what you want to ask, and I'm welcome. Now, Bartley 54, you've been here numerous times. Bartley 54 is from Montana, and she has a horrible case where her partner's turned against her, and she's trying to get her son back. Her son was doing homeschooling, and the CPS outfit is going against her educational rights. She still has her educational rights, and she wants a homeschool, but they're putting them in a public school. Anyway, welcome, Bartley. We have on the phone Matthew from Boise, Idaho, who is talking about his wife and him have a CPS case. It says he's once worked for CPS. So, what is your case? Who knocked on the door? Was someone knock on your door? How did it start?
So, yeah, absolutely. So, kind of going back to that again. So, I didn't work for CPS, just to kind of clarify. I worked for Health and Welfare Department. I worked for the benefits.
Okay. Let me correct myself. Health and Welfare Department, CPS, they're all part of social services, adult
Yeah,
protective
yeah, for sure,
systems.
for
And
sure.
so what I'm talking about is the social services. So anyway, you are familiar with that. But I'd like to get to Pacifics. How did it all start? Did you get a knock at the door? Did you answer the door? How did it start?
Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of started with, when my wife's parents found out that we did have the substance abuse problem, they ended up turning us into CPS. And so, yeah, we ended up getting a knock on the door of them wanting to come in and kind of talk to us about the situation and all that.
I want you to
And
stop right there for a second. I want everybody to listen.
absolutely.
Um, you don't need to open your door. I don't know why people are
Yeah,
so readily open the door. You don't know if
yeah,
that person on the other side of the door is a criminal. You don't know if it's a bad police officer that's going to shoot you down the spot. You don't know if it's a social worker. So you should get in the habit of not answering your door and have your family and your friends have a special knock or a special ring to get in the home. You should also instruct your family members not to open the door, not to open the door. Because opening the door is like opening a can of worms. When you start to talk to social workers, they'll be bad. The first thing you need to do is be quiet and they will leave. Then you need to get your attorney. If you don't have an attorney, that's a serious problem. You need to find one. And if you have none, they will provide you an attorney, but CPS will provide that attorney. It'd be bad news. So you want to
yeah,
use a real attorney. But if you're going to go there, I want you all to listen. There's four things you want to do about CPS when you get involved. One, you tell that court appointed attorney that you're innocent and you've done nothing wrong. Secondly, you tell the court appointed attorney he needs to make sure that the judge knows that we want family reunification. Thirdly, we want to do what the judge orders to do, the plan, the safety plan. We'll follow that because we don't have a real attorney. So we have to go with a court appointed attorney. And lastly, we want visitations as much as possible, visitations, whether they're by a cure or anything like that. So they knocked the door. You didn't think about it. You let them in. And what did they first say when they opened the door?
well, at the time when I opened the door, I didn't actually let them in because I had police with them, and they were using their typical police intimidation tactics and things like that.
Right.
But I felt like I knew my rights. I felt like I knew my rights, so I actually turned them away. And I did end up. The CPS worker ended up calling me later on and saying, "Well, we're willing to kind of come back without the police. Would you be willing to let us in?" And I was like, "Well, I've got my house is clean.
Did you think about
I
an
will
attorney?
definitely."
Did you think about a need to have an attorney because you need to establish with the police or the social workers, is this a criminal matter? If it's a criminal matter, you
Right.
need an attorney. I don't care what kind of a criminal matter it is. If it's with child custody and child issues there, it could be a shooting or a criminal charge of some sort. You need an attorney. And further, you need legal insurance.
100%.
You need legal insurance to pay for
And
the
then
attorney. So how did they take the?
100%. If we
Did they look at your house? I guess when you had they look at your house. Now, why you let them look at your house?
Yeah, and I was wanting to show them essentially that we were a caring, loving home, that we were
They
safe,
don't care.
that we
They're
had
gonna
food on
find
the table.
something. They're gonna set
I
you up
learned
and
that very
frame
quickly.
you. They're gonna set up and frame
I
it for you. And everything you say to them, they'll
I
use
learned that very
against you.
quickly.
You do not talk to
Yep.
social workers. You do not talk to police. You don't let them in. You don't show them your house. And whatever you do, don't give them to children. There's only three ways they can get the child from you. Oh, actually, yeah. The first way is you give the child up. You let them in the home, you allow them in, and you give the child up. That's one way. Or if the child is being beaten and hurt, they're going to take the child from you.
Right.
They're going to break in the
Of
door.
course.
And lastly, if they have a warrant that specifically tells them what they can do and not do, and that warrant's got to be legitimate, not a court order on a phone. Who was it? Friday night, a lady had sent me a video of how her kids were taken from her. She was upstairs in the house. They broke down the door, and apparently they weren't quiet, and that's how the police broke in because it sounded like somebody was hurt. So they went up. They went up to the bottom of the stairs, and they ordered the woman to come down, put her hands behind her back, and told to order the kids to come down. Now she did say, "Can I see the warrant?" Or can I say, "We have a court order. Let me see." And so they tried to show him on the phone, but it was a bogus thing. The whole thing is bogus. They really are. So what you do is you just don't talk to them. And if you happen to talk to them, be nice to them and tell them, I need you to talk to my attorney. I will need your name and phone number. My attorney will call you. You may not have an attorney. Don't worry about that detail. That can comes later. That can come later. But you need to get them out of your life and off your back. But apparently, you let them in and you talk to them. And they did they take your child? What danger was your child in when they investigated?
So he was in no danger at all. They actually
So
ended up
why did they
leaving
take
him.
him? Why did they take him? Did you ask him what danger is your child in?
So they ended up going back and you know, manipulating the things. The house was perfectly safe. They said they saw exposed wires and there was a chemical smell in the house, which was
Well, did they ever answer
basically
your
clean the house.
question? You said you asked them the question, what danger are my kids in? Did they ever tell you?
No, they sheltered. They ordered.
Well, did they say
A
there's no
removal
danger?
order.
Well, you said a removal. Is
Yeah.
this a warrant?
So they did the initial removal order based on the the review of the house.
No, well, wait. How'd they review the house? Oh, you let them in to see the house. Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we had nothing to hide. Our house was safe and caring and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There were the accusations of substance abuse, which we did have a substance abuse problem. Well, and like I mentioned earlier, we did.
Well, they're not your friend, and you should not talk to them. They're not your friend, and they should not talk to because they're going to do their. So anyway, they take your child. Now, did they notify you about arrangements for your child to be in? Did they tell you where your child could be? Did they say, "Can you give us a relative or a list of names?" And
So,
who did you
like,
submit? Who did you submit?
honestly, this is a really long story, but like
Well,
eventually,
I need
the
to. Okay,
ended up going.
Matt, I don't mean to cut you short, but my show time is
No,
almost
no, no.
gone, and it's now
Okay, no, you're
8 o'clock, and I have to end my show.
okay.
But
I
that
understand.
doesn't
So
mean you can't call me back in tomorrow, Matt.
if
It
I
just
could please, if I could please, like, just kind of tell the worst parts of it. Neither me or my wife have any sort of even a drug charge.
no, I
Neither
understand it.
one of us are
I know,
counting it.
but Matt,
No,
Matt,
no.
Matt,
Anything that's
stop.
terminating
I
our
have
life,
to end it, Matt.
of course.
Please,
Okay, that's fine.
if you're legit, please call me back tomorrow at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's Pacific Standard
Absolutely.
Time. I think Boise, Idaho is Mountain Time, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
That would be 9 o'clock your time. 8 o'clock my time,
Okay,
9 o'clock
we'll
your
do that.
time. And you can call me back and talk on the show. We could talk further about this, Matt. All you do is you introduce
100%.
yourself. Hi, this is Matt. I'm from Boise. I'd like to continue my story. Okay. So thank you for listening and thank you for calling in. All right. That
Hey,
was,
your show is great. I wish I would
yeah,
have known you and kind of been able to contact you.
that's okay. Okay.
About
I'm going to end our
so
conversation so I can end the show. Thank you, Matt. God bless you. Okay, that was Matt from Boise, Idaho, who was trying to talk about his story, how he did some of the mistakes, and I was trying to help you all out there. I first want to thank Akima Richardson from Brooklyn, New York. She has a show at 8 o'clock on the East Coast time. That's 5 o'clock Pacific time. And she has a show that she loved to invite you to. She loved to have you come to her show. Um, and be there. She's very helpful. But Kima, hang in there and thank you for calling in. It's been a strange night. Betty Joe, we've had some really strange calls come in again tonight. The same group of people that didn't show up this morning but showed up last night were in here tonight. I had to ban a lot of people and delete a lot of people, and I apologize. But this is not a show to be funny about. This is very serious business. I'm here to help y'all. But Betty Joe, thank you. Betty Joe is also from Montana. Her and her and Barley 54 are from Montana. So that is really really good. Now Melissa from Brunswick, Canada. I would like you to hear more about your story. I'm so glad you called. Sammy Sosa from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I'd like to hear more from you, Sammy. And of course, Matt is from Boise, Idaho. And who else we had in here? I thought we had Bartley in here. I thought we had Bartley in here. Maybe there you are, Bartley. Hello, Bob. Yeah, she's in here too. We had a lot of people that I had to boot out of here. And I want to thank Megan, Tabitha, George Reddernick, Costana, Lisa Brees Link, and Melissa Phillips. And thank you all for the care emojis. And then I want to thank Megan, Tabitha, and Rodrigo Constanaza, and Melissa Phillips. Thank you. And I do apologize for the rebel rousers that wanted to thrash the show. This is a show to help people. I'm not doing any political views here. I'm not taking any sides. I'm just pointing out facts. 50% of CPS is corrupt, and 50% have taken your children wrongly. I'm here to help you because you need step one to get that attorney. But I don't want you to forget not being here. So I want to come in again tomorrow at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. 8 o'clock is our next show time. So thank you all for listening. God bless you. And I will, I'm going to play a short video at the end of my live stream. Please listen to it. It's a good video. It's a good video. Thank you again for listening. And I do apologize for anybody that upset anybody there. And so if I accidentally deleted you, I'm sorry, but I'm not trying to, but it's really hard to know who's on here. And I had one person, Megan Tabitha, who's been on my show a lot, but it's too redundant. It's like, and not very clear, not talking about a CPS matter. So anyway, we're here to help people with CPS, not to attack one another, not to be rude. So God bless y'all, and thank you for listening to me. Now I'm going to put the information about the Department of Government Efficiency, which is DOGE. Very important you copy that down. Very, very important there. And there are a website, two phone numbers that go directly to the White House. 202 is the White House, and an email, doge at mail@house.gov. Please, if you have anything you want to talk to at the federal level, that's who you contact. And they will respond because they are investigating. CPS and all social services being investigated by DOGE. So I'm signing off. This is Bob Pace saying good night, and please listen to the video.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted, and if you go against it, it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last ones left. Put your faith in